You may have seen this very touching video of the head of the Nobel Institute, a Norwegian guy who is essentially responsible for the group that gives the Nobel Prize, calling the Venezuelan Nobel winner, Maria Corina Machado, and telling her that she'd won the award. She starts crying and says she has no words, and her voice breaks. The video was very, very widely shared on social media, but when I saw it, my first reaction was, this is not an institution that is going to be able to resist Donald Trump. And it's because in the politics of social media, the thing that social media does and the thing that Trump does is to take apart these institutions that have or used to have this great mystique. Government agencies, the US Congress, the courts, and to say, you know what, this is just a bunch of people, and these people are imperfect and they're subject to all kinds of pressure. And the Nobel Committee, strangely, I think is one of the last institutions that really hasn't fallen to that. They still have this sense that this is this sort of mysterious body that confers this incredibly important award, which Alfred Nobel endowed in 1901. And the reason I think that Donald Trump is obsessed with the Nobel Prize and with winning a Nobel Prize is partly because they have retained that mystique. People don't think of it as just some committee of random Norwegian academics. They think of it as this institution that confers gravity on an individual. Where these days, most things go in the opposite direction. The individual, like Donald Trump, is more important than the political party. The athlete is more important than the team. Although that video was very touching, I was kind of surprised to see the Nobel Committee spending its mystique, ultimately, what's left of its gravitas, on getting likes on Instagram rather than on, I guess, trying to maintain this very unusual value that it still has. And I don't really think that that very nice Norwegian man is gonna be able ultimately to stand up to Donald Trump, if he wants to, and he may not want to because this Gaza peace deal is very important, and perhaps it will at the end of this year, the Nobel Committee will say, "You know what, Donald Trump deserves it," which is obviously very much what Donald Trump wants, and Donald Trump will do what he has to do to get it. Machado, I think, in some way did understand these politics. Donald Trump said later.
The person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. I didn't say, then give it to me, though. I could have said.
And whatever did happen in that conversation, Machado did not film it and put it on TikTok. You can go to the link in our bio to read more about this.